traditional beginning, but someone else thought he would be streaming tonight, so he's going to be a little upset. He's a little upset. Okay. This is John Luke. He's very annoyed that I woke him up. But, I won't let him. Okay, just keep the door cracked because he will make his own decisions. Okie dokie. So, I've been kind of working, well, really, I've just been working on this one project, and that's kind of been consuming my time because the colors are prettier. Not to say this isn't a nice color, but anyways, I make packers all the time, so to make something that's not a packer is super fun for me. So hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ian.is Weirdo or Ian.is Weird, depending on where you're watching this. Sorry, I just remembered that I have to send a message to someone who is commissioning a piece. I'm so terrible at this. So I had talked about this a while ago when I went to the thrift store. But I got some really cool yarn to make a like skeleton harness, or like rib cage harness, and I found some really cool yarn for like guts and stuff. And this is like exactly. I can't believe, like, I've never seen this type of yarn at this store, and I was like, I only have one chance of finding this like super cheap, and I had no idea how much I would need. And like this popped into my life, and it is gorgeous. It's not, at first I thought it was unspun wool, but that is not the case. It's actually spun and just very, very fluffy. So here is what it looks like. And it just looks like cotton candy, or if you're more morbid like me, organs. So this friend of mine approached me about this. Oh no, she said whenever is good. You don't mean that, because I will never work on it. Um, okay. But so she approached me because she was like gonna get someone else's work, and like it was crochet, and I was like, it was like, it's like a high end like luxury um, place, and I was like, hey, like I don't want to copy anyone else's work. She was afraid it would be sold out and or not in her budget. So I was like, hey, if for whatever reason you want me to make something, I was like, I won't copy another artist's work, but like if you give me inspiration, I can make most things, right? Just please don't fucking ask me to make granny squares. I hate it. So I don't know why I have such dislike for granny squares. I think just seeing them all the time, just nothing feels like fresh anymore with that to me. But I've seen beautiful work with granny squares, so like that doesn't mean don't do it. It just means it's not for me. We all have our different things, right? I make penises. Maybe you don't make penises. But I was so excited about getting the commission and like finding the yarn. I like found the yarn like the day after Black Friday, so I didn't get like any of their crazy deals, and they did have lower stock on stuff. But I just wanted to get like I wanted to have like a bunch of tones of red and like have some like red shimmer and like just like this wasn't like the unfinished work. It has different colors, different textures of yarn, and it's like $1 or like it's not even $1. It's like 25 cents, and I get all of these like shorter pieces of yarn. Also, the fact that they have been worked up and been in that position for a while means that they'll come out all squiggly and ramen noodly, and that'll be perfect and look gorgeous. And then I found this, and I thought that that looked like blood. So, and like all this was really cheap, so I really wanted to go to this specific place to get it. So I had all this in mind, and like so this has been going on since November, and I was like, been working on commissions, like tons of packers, and like I like I never asked like what time frame she wanted. My cat's gone, so I'm gonna close the door. Um, so yes, so I just have been working on stuff that's a little bit more pressing, but I just messaged her and I was like, hey, like this fell through the cracks on my part because like I'm supposed to be the expert commissioner on this one, fucking Commissioner Gordon in this bitch, and and she was like, oh, whatever, whenever. So like luckily it's not like a catastrophic like she needed this by like December 15th or something like that. So that's good. But I like, but then kind of whenever is like, I won't do it if you tell me if I can take as long on a project as I want. I'm going to, and it might never get done. So I don't want that either. She already prepaid for um, materials, so put a deposit down. And honestly, like I know some people want everything up front, which I totally understand because some people would do a deposit just to buy the yarn, and then you do all the work, and at the end they're like, "Oh, I actually don't have any money anymore," and you're like, especially something so custom made that you're not sure that like making it to her measurements, like it's really hard to resell stuff like that. So I understand why people would take full payment, but this is just passion project for me. So even if she didn't want it, I mean, who cares? But like also this is a friend, so you know, I don't know where she lives, but I know who she hangs out with, and I know where they live. So yeah, so I'll show the other project I'm working on in a little bit. Right now, I'm making a warm brown um, packer. I am making this one 7 inches, and they wanted a heavy fill on this one, so I'm gonna be doing that. I don't get too far into the shaft and I'll be able to control my stuffing levels. Shit, I think my little cookie stick is in there. Oh, good God. Okay. So I'm using black polyfill on my colors that are either just like basically if they're like mid-toned and down, I try to use black polyfill. It just looks a lot better if it peeks through, because this yarn is on the darker side. Like even if I pack it super, 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 super full, it will still be good looking. So this is black crafter. What is this? What is it? So it's just classic black fiber fill from Loops and Threads from Michaels. I don't go to Michaels for much, as you all know, just because I don't know. I just feel like their sales aren't as great as Joann's. Like Joann's always puts on some all star um, deals, and for me, Michaels and Joann's are like literally like on either side of the street, like one shopping center and the other shopping center. Hobby Lobby is in the same, which I know is like really, really lucky that I don't have to travel around if I'm looking for something specific. But but also I don't go to Hobby Lobby, so that has no use to me. So I understand how lucky I am to have them all nearby each other. They're not terribly close. It's maybe like 25 minutes to get there, but like that's not that bad in the grand scheme of things, you know. Like I kind of live in a smaller town, um, on like in the suburbs, I guess, the suburbs of Raleigh, which is the capital city and the second biggest city in North Carolina. Um, so man, this thing was huge, and for some reason the balls didn't. I somehow like missed a row or two or three, and the balls look so weirdly small by comparison, but whatever. Um, they don't look so weird that I think it's like not gonna work. It just if this person had like the exact same packer pattern next to it, they would be like, these balls are a little small. But that might actually work to the favor of the person wearing this because this is gonna be a big packer. And um because it's a heavy fill, you know, I use a light fill on all the ones that I make for myself, which has been all of two. And because I literally have had mine since I started making the one that I wear all the time. I made one modified that was like lime green, and I attached it to a packer harness. But like, I just like I love my like I use the Americana print, and that is just like the softest cotton. One of the softest cottons I have now that I have more options. Ooh, okay, Mariah, gonna keep this thing to a minimum. There are some things that like happen when you first start taking testosterone that are temporary but do go away for a lot of people. Um, for some reason, a lot of the things that people go through when they start testosterone, I have still had. Like, my voice is level, but I am no longer capable of singing without like at least 40 voice cracks. I have no idea how to locate my voice. I considered myself like a decent enough like a singer before, and now it's like I'll be fine. I'll be hitting those notes, and then I'll be like, and it's bad. It's bad. So now I just kind of like mumble sing like under my breath when I'm in the car. Hey, mommy. Hey, Amy. Oh my gosh, I guess we have our fundraiser coming up soon. I'll reach out to you soon. If I don't, feel free to hit me up, so I can get the deets on what you're feeling. I know we just haven't talked about it in a while, so I just want to check in with you and make sure you're still um, on this ride. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I'm super excited for this fundraiser. I think I should be relatively fine. I've been having some like I don't know how to describe it. I've been having some uh minor health issues in the grand scheme of things, but things that are like definitely interfering with my daily life. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Sorry I've been a shit at organizing this thing. I've just had my head like totally in my medical world. Although, side note, so I saw this advertisement for a new cat cafe literally in the town that I'm in. I was just talking about how this is like a pretty small town. And so it's like, this is like super cool. So I sent them a message on their like websites, like their email from their website. And I was like, hey, like, are you looking for like a volunteer, like 1 to 2 days a week? I think that's probably the max I could do now. And even that kind of feels like daunting, but I'm like, let's try. If I know I'm gonna go see cats, I'm gonna want to do it a whole lot more. So so bribe me with kittens. Yeah, I hear you. I took all last week off for mental health. That is so good that you took some time for you. I know this has been a just busy, crazy monster of a holiday season and everything for you. So I'm super glad that you were able to take some time off. So like not this past Friday, but the Friday before, I had a manic episode, and literally that day I started a new medicine. I was manic before I took the medicine, so can't blame it on that. And it was just after like I'd been kind of like um I'd been kind of hypomanic, kind of like leading up to it after my disability hearing. And I went full blown manic. Been eaten alive by newest adopted kitty. So cute. If you like rewind to the beginning of this video, I didn't start my video my normal way because my cat likes to sleep in my chair, and I felt like an ass for like forcing him physically from the premises, but I was like, dude, I gotta sit to crochet. I'm not a stand at crochet. Sometimes I am, but like not in a general sense. Plus, like I like to chat with you all. So, my wife is very against us getting another cat. She said we might be able to do two cats when like um, my cat passes, which she's not even anywhere close. But she's like, we can adopt two together, so we'll know they get along. And I was like, I mean, that's not necessarily the case, but like, he's she's like, he's just like an only cat son. I'm like, met many a cat. They're content being alone. They love to fight with anything. It's fine. So, but I mean, I'm a terrible pet parent. So, like, I love my animals, but I just have like really. We talked about this the other day. I just have a really bad like sense of time. So like feeding intervals, cleaning the litter box intervals. I'm like not great at like keeping like a great schedule with that. So Mel helps me pick up quite a bit of the slack there. So she's got more right than I to say whether or not we're getting um, a new cat. But if I'm working around cats all the time, who knows? But yeah, so right now I'm working on a packer. So I guess I'll quickly explain what's going on like this side of my desk. You can't see it, but it's awful. It looked like someone, so he's 7 and the size of a small dog. Yeah, my cat is 9, and he's just kind of, I mean, he's a tabby, and so like an orange tabby, like cream tabby, and he's kind of a sour patch kid. Like he'll cuddle with you and you'll feel so loved. He'll be in his little bed and he snores. He snores. It's so cute. Both of my pets snore, which I think they got from me, from my side of the family. But okay, so what's going on over here? So I bought the yarn from Red Heart, and this is Red Heart Super Saver Stripes, and this is the color Baby Rainbow. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. But I started to get the feeling, because I was working through it pretty quickly. This is not the jumbo size. This is the regular. How many ounces are you? 5 ounce skeins. So this is how far I got with what's done here, and I was like, I don't think I bought 2 skeins, and I was like, I don't think I have enough yarn to finish this blanket. The baby blanket doesn't need to be huge, but it definitely needs to be bigger than like yay big. So I was like, okay, what can I do? I was like, because I'm not frogging this for shit. I'm not frogging. because I learned how to do corner to corner very, very recently, if you've noticed on Army of Weirdos, and it's fun, but like working with a smaller hook to make smaller holes takes more time, and I don't like being on projects too long. So I was like, well, what can I do to make to to drag out these skeins, two skeins, to make a full size blanket? And I was like, I wonder if like there's like a spiral I could do, or like corner to corner in the round. I didn't know if any of this existed. I don't know much about corner to corner in general. But I was like, at first when I did them, they just looked kind of sloppy and they didn't look better as I went up. So I was like, something's wrong. Turned out I was just, uh, the video I was following, she just used a type of uh, different number of chains. So I started looking around, and then I found a video on YouTube. I did post it in Army of Weirdos, where you do it says in the round. I mean, technically you're working around, but you're basically just making a square. So I was like, well, what if I had like a diamond of something else and I had the rainbows on the outside? Now in hindsight, I realized I probably could have used the white and saved myself all this trouble, but I didn't. So I am using 5 individual colors. Um, 4 of them are Caron Simply Soft, because I knew that I had a bunch of colors of that, and I also knew I had a fair amount of pastels in that. I haven't bought Simply Soft in literally so long, unless I see a color I have to have, but generally I don't buy it anymore. I used to use it all the time, and I just don't. But what we're making is a square or diamond, I guess, depending on how it's oriented. And then I'm going to put these blocks, essentially, on the side, and they'll be all the corners. So, until I can get, like, the sides that I want. Now, I was like, do I have any self-striping yarn? Because I hate changing colors when you have a chain coming in. It's like, it's so annoying. I was like, there's no way in hell that I'm doing, um, I hope it'll be cool looking. I tried to match the colors as well as I could. I think I got pretty close with everything. The purple's a little different. I wonder if this one would have been better. No, they're both like blue based purples, and the one in the skein is like pink based purple. But like, who cares? I mean, it's for a baby. Like, the baby's not gonna complain. I mean, they might, but I won't. They live in New York. I won't be there to hear it. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. We do not know the gender, which is totally fine. If you know me, I actually really don't give a shit about gender in general, but especially not that of a baby, because it doesn't matter. But with the I immediately saw the baby rainbow and was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. And but then I didn't want anything, like, I didn't want the center to like pull too much blue or pull too much pink, or feminine colors, masculine colors, whatever. Because like, I wanted it to be just as like gender neutral and just cute. Um So, so that's why I decided to do it. But striping this pattern is so annoying, because like, literally, you change colors. Yeah, color has no gender. Exactly. It's so stupid. But like, I don't know the parent super well, so I don't know if I made like a blanket, and like, because like, I was like, oh, I have like, this is one of the yarns I was considering using, which I already have, and it's blue, and it's got pink in it and yellow. I think it's just the most adorable yarn. I instantly was like, I love this, and I gotta have it, which I'm not usually like with speckle yarn. Actually, I don't think I have. maybe any other speckled yarn except stuff I bought when I first started crocheting. So this, I thought this was so cute, but then I was like, what if they're like one of those parents that like really does care, or like something, and like they don't have a boy, and now the inside of the blanket's fucked up. But isn't this fucking cute? There's also a pink, light pink shade of this where they have them. So like, if I knew and if I cared, I could have done that. But like this, you have to change colors uh, as you're doing a slip knot, and then you chain 5, and so instead of having to weave in a bunch of ends and do all that shit, I am just tying invisible knots, which like they're mostly, especially because of like the cushiony aspect of corner to corner because it's so dense. Um, like the knots really aren't a huge deal at all as long as I'm actually tying a uh, like disappearing knot or whatever, invisible knot, whatever. So, but they can be like really tedious to tie because I want to get the color change right then. But then I'm using a self-striping yarn and it just changes when I want. So I'm like kind of loosening up on that, especially because I had to frog down to this pink. Luckily, I didn't have to frog all of the pink. Not that that's the base row or anything, but I had made an extra corner, which I do with granny squares and stuff all the time. If I'm not focusing, and I'll just put a corner somewhere. And when I posted the picture of Army of Weirdos, people were like, "It looks good." I'm like, "It's an uneven star, and it's supposed to be a square." But that's just how it is. Sometimes you have happy accidents. Sometimes you have accidents that look cute, but actually aren't what you need. So that's where I'm at. Um, but yeah, so I'm finishing this packer. I'm gonna send this and another one out tomorrow, technically today. But I've been having sleep problems, and that's been pretty annoying and pretty disorienting to my sleep because the the Saturday and Sunday after I had my manic episode, so I was on extreme downers and like basically like knockout drugs, because I was like I just didn't want them to take my top surgery away. Like if I'm being honest, it was but it was an oddly shaped pentagon. It wasn't even pentagon because I had just added an edge just fucking wherever I wanted. My foot almost slipped out underneath me, which I just scoot back. And I was like, oh shit. My knee was like, nah, you're not doing that, dude. Um, so, yeah, I'm gonna get those out tomorrow, which will be nice. They should be arriving to where they need to arrive by um, Christmas, I hope. Um, but, yeah. So, um, yeah, I love doing Packers. I do have another one on the list, but it wasn't marked as a gift, so I was like, I don't feel like this can. Um, I don't feel like this has to be like out right this second. Yeah. So my whole life, I've had trouble sleeping. Looking back, probably the bipolar. Also, I'm a night owl. Like, look at when all my lives are. Like, I'm a night owl through and through. And when Mel and I moved in together, like, I just felt like I think it was like the combination of like the honeymoon phase, and then also when I started going back to school and I got this like job that made me crazy busy. Um, then uh, I like literally slept without meds for the first time in my life. And I was just so fucking tired. And then since my concussion, I I most I couldn't sleep without meds for a long time, and then I could sleep without meds for a long time because a lot of my medicine made me drowsy. And then since my manic episode, I haven't been able to sleep without sleep aids in the evening. Like, I've been going to bed at like 6 or 7 a.m. for the past several days, and I don't know how to get back where I belong. But I kind of like, I don't really, so I take trazodone, which is a non narcotic sleep medicine. It works for a lot of people, doesn't work for a lot of people. Um, really depends on you and whatever works for you, and that's all that's important. Um, but it's great because it's non habit forming, which I mean, if I was on something habit forming, literally at this point, I don't think I would care too much because I'm on other things that are habit forming, just in my normal medicine regimen. There we go. Um, so like that's what you take too. Yeah, I don't know how people were like, I take melatonin and I sleep just fine. I'm like, fuck off. I mean, I guess granted, my insurance pays for my trazodone, whereas they would pay money out of their pockets to take melatonin. Plus, it's not really great for long term use. Um, but then I've also known people who took like Ambien, like Mel's parents. They don't take it all the time, which I guess is good. But like I have a family member who takes Ambien as well, and she started sleepwalking, and she would literally like go out of her house, light up a cigarette, smoke a couple cigarettes, and then sometimes like they had to start hiding the keys from her, um, because like she would try to drive asleep. That's horrifying. Um, so yeah, so I feel like it's. I mean, I think there are two types of insomnia. I mean, I'm sure there's others, but like one is like physical, and the ambient stories, yeah. I think and like you can definitely fall into both of these categories, but like one is like physical, like some people can't like get their body to like stop moving, like it's restless. They just need like something to like calm their body down because they can shut their mind down for the night, but they can't shut their body off. I understand that. I think people tend to lend towards melatonin when like that's more the case, and like Ambien and that kind of thing. But like for people who can't turn their mind off at night, like me and my wife, it's really difficult. Like Mel was on Ambien like one night, and she didn't fall asleep in like the window of falling asleep because she couldn't turn her mind off, and it's mental and trauma. Yeah, exactly. Right there with you. Yeah, because like for some people, being asleep is a safe place, and for other people, being asleep is not the case. So I totally understand. Nightmares were fucking horrible. Um, I like I don't I didn't have nightmares for most of my life. 'Cause my life has always been a shit show, so it's like in my dreams it couldn't get much worse. I just didn't have anything. Um, but then, so I was on Seroquel for a couple months, and it was the second time I had been on it, but like for some reason this dose hit different, and like I was having very vivid nightmares or like just very unsettling dreams, um, from the Seroquel. And I was like, I literally can't. I can't live like this. um, and like was having like PTSD nightmares, and like so I'd wake up and be like shaken for the whole day, and I was like, so now I'm off of that, and on to another medicine with a whole nother list of side effects. So, but I'm I guess since I took that out, I'm not getting enough sleep. And then also I'm trying to recover. Like my body takes 1 to 3 weeks to recover from a manic episode. Yeah, so there actually is nightmare. I mean, there's tons of drugs that will cause you not to dream. Um, there is some specifically prescribed for PTSD. I remember when I was in treatment for the first time after my concussion, there were a bunch of people who were on it. I think it started with an R. If I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the name of it. Um, but like there were people who had really bad PTSD or they just had a really hard time with dreams and nightmares and stuff like that. And like the doctor was just handing it out. So that might be something worth checking out. I don't know if it falls into any classification of drugs that would be habit forming. So obviously do your research, ask your doctor about it because they were all on it and they said it worked. They had really bad PTSD. Okay, we're at 6 inches. Oh, yeah. And then your prostate won't give you such of a big problem. Because it's just you and me here. Can I tell you one of the most annoying things about being a bottom trans man? Bottom is in the position I like to be in. Trans man being who I am. Is that I don't have prostate. If you know what I'm saying. And I'm like, damn, this sounds fucking awesome. I know it can generate so many problems in so many people's lives, so I don't take it lightly, but man, it would be cool to have one. Just like, I don't know, can they like implant something? I don't know. I'll have to talk. Oh no. Oh yeah, wait. Just put it together. Yep, that was a joke. Okay, sorry. I literally thought you prostate was flaring up. I read so much gay fan fiction that I'm just so used to seeing and hearing the word prostate that it literally just doesn't. Okay, so while we're on the subject of sex, I've decided that we're on the subject of sex. Um, so um, My since I started testosterone, so I was saying some symptoms had ended. The voice cracking is still one. Um, the acne that I have, I used to have clear skin. I used to have clear skin without having to do much to it. Now my skin, like it's getting better. I'm working on trying to stick to my routine, but like if you use the right position, you can. Ooh, hello. Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, I use toys and, like, I just have heard that it's just, like, such an otherworldly experience because it's basically a bundle of nerves inside of you, which is similar to a, clit. But, like, so, like, things I like working in the front. Yeah, that's cool. Front, outside. One, I feel super dysphoric in the middle. I just don't like it. Plus, I have to use like a ton of lube because testosterone dries that shit up real nice, I guess. Which I do want to have a hysterectomy. I believe that I forgot what happened with the scheduling of that. But anyways, oh, they need fucking more doctors notes. Bullshit. Um, that's so annoying. So I need to get uh, I need to get it from my testosterone provider. But anyways, let me see. Where is it going with that? Okay, so like middle, yeah. So like you dry, that shit hurts. Like before I started taking testosterone, That was not the problem. We had literally the other side of the coin where like this bitch was like the Hoover Dam and just fucking collapsed. But then I really like the feeling of the bag, but and I really really like it, but I've heard that if you had a prostate, it's just so much like a that nerve bundle that just like lights up when touched, like ET's finger or brushed up against by things. I can't believe I'm talking about them. It's okay. It's just you and me. No one ever watches the replay, which is fine. Because honestly, replays are extremely boring. But yeah. So yeah, I've um, I've worked some things out, and you know, uh, Mel and I are both we're both kind of in a position where like we're both bottoms as well. So, I mean, like when you're in a same sex relationship that involves, I'm saying same sex, not same gender, same sex relationship um, with people born AFAB, um, there's no top or bottom, there's no who gives, who takes. Because literally anything that you would do to them, they would do to you, vice versa, for the most part, right? And as soon as I was like exploring my sexuality more, um, I was like, well, like if I was with a dude or if you had something that you could. I was so embarrassed. I was like, I mean, have even like talked to like Dom and sub, and like Mel's always like seen herself as a sub, and like so have I. And not that people can't be switches and stuff like that, but like, it just is what it is. But just trying to get her comfortable to the idea of like using the back instead of using the middle, which is what we've historically used, and the front. Um, you know, uh, I just, I think it's one thing when it's a toy, it's another when it's fingers, especially to someone who is a certified OCD haver. So, anyways, that's just me talking about my sex life on the internet. No consequences whatsoever. Yeah, it's just like, um, yeah, I mean, there's like literally nothing I wouldn't do to that body of Moss. Nothing. But it's just, yeah, it's been it's been harder, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, we don't have to worry about that. But I read all these stories, and they're also because I almost exclusively read smut. Like so I think I've talked about this before, but like I I mean it when I say it, I have like a tinge of embarrassment because I feel like it's a stupid way to get a name. And then I think about ways that other people are named, and I was like, a lot of ways people get named are stupid, unless it's a family member's name, which I originally was named after a family member who had passed before I was born, um, my dad's mom. But then I was trying to find a name, and like literally everything was so hard because you have to like restructure your brain to like be able to not only hear someone say that name, associate that with you, you have to focus on not dead naming yourself because you've been with this name for a long time. So So what I'm getting to is that basically I exclusively read Ian Gallagher and Mickey Milkovich smut. They are characters, gay men characters from the show Shameless, the US version. Ian is a queer, bipolar, um, very hot. That the hotness is unrelated to my relation to the character. But I just like immediately was like drawn to this character, like his like story arc and like his like meeting his husband, spoiler alert, in the end, was just like so tumultuous, interesting to watch. They really gave this character a lot of respect. And like while like the whole show's just kind of about like misfortune that happens in life, especially when you're poor and in an unsafe area with some unsafe people. Um, he, like when he signed up for it, like he knew he was going to be gay in the show, and so I named myself after Ian. If that wasn't clear, because I don't think I properly made the connection, but I'm just rambling here. I'm waiting for my meds to kick in. Hopefully they do before it turns 7 o'clock, because I will turn into a pumpkin, more of a pumpkin, a glad pumpkin. Anyways, but so he knew he was gonna be gay, gave like the character and his sexuality a lot of like empowerment, and even though it takes place in Southside Chicago, like he takes on the homophobia that's rampant in a lot of um like lower income places, and he like owns his gayness, which I'm like, hell yeah. So immediately I was like, I love this character. Um, Even though I've never had a thing for redheads before, I like instantly like something switched, and I was like, oh, be up all night. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that'll help. Yeah, I took mine before I started this stream, so um, hopefully I can finish this Hacker, probably not before the stream ends because they've been chatting a lot. But then later on, he gets diagnosed with bipolar, and he like went out of his way to say like when people like in interviews would ask him, like how it was like being a bipolar character, he was like, I just really wanted to treat them like with respect that they deserved, and I didn't want to make like light of the illness. So it just was really sweet because there's always like there's like we're rewatching Rock of Love. Don't judge me. My wife loves reality shows, and like the like early 2000s like you love competition shows, like just like are hilarious. Like they're just funny. And oh no, you'll be up all night. Okay, sorry. Just like I'm so bad at reading things. um I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe you can make yourself some like nice tea. I know that's not like a replacement for meds, but like sometimes I find that drinking like a sleepy time tea or something just help me relax enough to kind of like not want to crawl out of my skin and die. Um, but yeah, I mean, hopefully your pain meds have some kind of drowsiness effect that you can take advantage of. Getting a warm blanket or a cool blanket, whatever you like. This go up, get all those guinea pigs around you. I actually don't suggest that because they will go missing. I've heard. um, but yeah, so like I just have to, like a lot of respect for the actor. He was hot, and then he also like had like was acting out these things that like literally are my life, and I'm like I I just respect the hell out of him, and like was like manic and like stripping and on drugs at one point, and like his like boyfriend like helped him get out of it, and then it just, and then he got diagnosed, and like everything kind of made sense. And like I didn't have like necessary, ooh, weed, yep, that's definitely awful. Except unless you're me. I'm truly jealous of people who can smoke, because um I dissociate when I partake, and if you don't know what that is, it's not a fun time, because it feels like you're like, it kind of feels like you're like in a storefront window, you're trapped in there, everyone can see in, and you're like panicking, freaking out, and everyone is just staring at you. Like that's how my experiences with um, that type of dissociation have been. So like for years I couldn't smoke it until I was. Wait, are you older than 50? I picture you so young, because you just look so young. I was like, okay. I was like, there's no way in fuck. Okay. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I don't have a fun time with it. And like all my stoner friends were like, you haven't found the right strain, and like blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, I'll keep my yeah, nails will do that. I'm effectively useless when I've got nails on. Um but yeah, especially because I like longer nails. Not like crazy long, but I like to have like probably about half an inch, and it throws me off. Plus I don't, I think I just wear them like very temporarily, when I do like makeup and stuff, which I haven't done any. I've seen a bunch of cool stuff, but I'm just like, I don't know. I guess I did it when I was manic that morning, but I just like, I don't know. I just like didn't, I don't know. I just like didn't get the vibe. Hey babe. Hey babe. Thought I heard something. Ratchet long. These are long. Oh, ratchet. Well, I love that too. Although I can't type, and if I can't use my phone to type, then I'm like, I am bad at typing anyways. I really rely on autocorrect. But if I didn't use, like, if I used, or if I had long nails, like it, like autocorrect can't even decipher that shit. Um, so yeah. But like people have been telling me a long time before I knew what was going on, that it was just the wrong strain, and now I know why it does not work for me. But like my wife uses the Delta products that we've talked about, loves those, and they're really good for her pain relief and also her anxiety. And I'm like, I'm so jealous, because I'm on a lot of anxiety medicine, and um, yeah. Oh, I was talking about yeah, the computer is a lot easier. Um, I know some people use their like knuckles to type, but that never really works for me. I don't know. I think I have pretty small fingers, but maybe I have fat knuckles. I don't know. Um, but like, and I know things were either uh, considered politically correct, or just like weren't really talked about. Like those are like sprinkled in a lot more than stuff you see now. So watching something from 20 years ago, like they're like just in Rock of Love, but I've seen it in plenty of other places. like, people love to throw out the term bipolar. And, like, whenever anyone has a mood shift, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so bipolar." And I'm like, I fucking wish that's all it was. I wish it was just being, like, a little insecure, having a little cry, and then you feel better. I'm gonna have this disease for the rest of my life, and it's only getting worse. Can't work anymore. Get back to text. But anyway, so, like, it's just like whenever, like, people love to do that shit with bipolar, which I'm like, fuck off. And then there's, like, so often a correlation between, um, they misuse, oh, and PTSD. Oh my gosh. Really, literally any mental illness, they misuse all the time. It's so sad. Like, um, like, Mel has OCD, like I said, and, like, just hearing, like, what people say about OCD even now is just like, you think it's just like a level of, like, mild anxiety. No. When I try to describe my agoraphobia, it's like, no, that's not right. It's not just that I can't leave the house, it's that I think I might literally fall apart. Like, my body will disintegrate. Do you think that's normal? Do you think I'm just being lazy? um, but yeah, and, like, people love to be like, I know that, like, there are varying levels of pretty much all mental illnesses, but, like, even, like, the mildest bipolar is still classified as a serious mental illness. Um, I think just because of how difficult it is to treat, how often you have to change meds. It's just, and everyone is, like, super different, but I know that's the case with a lot of. I'm not trying to be like bipolar is the most, hard to treat. Like, no, no, that's not what I'm saying. But, like, it's like people just assume that you are crazy, that these things always just come out of nowhere. Once people know you have bipolar, they'll use it against you a lot of the times when um, when you have any emotion, no matter how severe or how mild. It's, did you take your meds today? Oh, they'd let you out of the loony bin? Oh, you've already been to treatment once. Why do you think you need to go back? Because my brain's so fucking broken, dude. But anyways, I don't know. I don't know how I got on that tangent, but, well, I think I do know because um, I really like Cameron Monaghan's interpretation. He's also, if you play video games or if any of your kids play video games, he was a character model for the Star Wars uh, Jedi Survivor and Jedi, another one that came up. Oh, yes. Yeah, I've been very irritable about taking my meds for the last couple of years, which I wasn't always good at it, but because my bipolar wasn't at the state it is at now, then I just kind of, like, if I missed a day, it wasn't like the fucking sky was falling. But, like, now that it's so much more serious and so much more difficult to treat, it's, like, very important that I take my meds. So, like, I do take my meds seriously. I also forget things. I also have a hard time with time. But, like, lately, like, Mel's been, like, reminding me, and it's been very gentle, very supportive. It's never like, did you take your meds? Well, actually, yeah, it is. But she says it in a really sweet way because she knows I have memory issues. So she's like, "Hey, like, did you remember to take your meds?" Like, it's in, like, a very, like, I'm I'm just being, I'm looking out for you. So it's never in a patronizing way. Like, growing up, if I had any emotions, my parents were like, did you take your meds? And I just remember it not only being frustrating, but it feeling very like insulting. And I had a lot of problems growing up, so I won't really go into that because like I feel like it would make me seem extra ungrateful for like all that my parents have done for me. Like I literally live in their house rent free for over 2 years. Like that's not something that is, you know, I mean that's undeniable love. Um, but yeah, I mean they just were working with the tools they had, and maybe they weren't great, but they did their best. Mel really tries to help me remember to take my meds, but she's been on this like sleep med thing, which like I have been on it like PRN and Ativan twice a day. It's obvious when I don't medicate. Cymbalta's an antidepressant, right? And then Ativan, is that the one for anxiety or ADHD? Sorry, if I haven't taken it, I don't know pretty much shit about it. Because I barely know the shit about the stuff I've been on. I'm gonna try to find this video I found on um, depression and anxiety. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. So I'm gonna try to find this video I found, um, and it's on bipolar. It's on bipolar disorder. So, but this is a doctor. He's very, very good. I'm just gonna send you straight to his page. I'm not gonna bother going into the. Shh, 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 shh. Oh no! Open up another window. God damn it. Okay, so he spoke a lot about like the scientific like anatomy and all the things that happen. Ativan is a benzo like Xanax. Okay, yeah, I've never been on Ativan. I think it's like in like the level of like potency. I think it's Klonopin, Xanax, Valium. I don't know where Ativan sticks in there, but I'm on a benzo as well. So I've been on all three of those. And I'm on a very high dose, and I still can barely function, which is why I'm trying to get disability. Okay, let me paste this link. Did I do it right? Oh shit. Oh, I didn't copy. You motherfucker. You motherfucker. Okay. Okay, so he might have something that might interest you. I learned a lot about the physiological um, responses and things that happen actually chemically and physically in your brain structure when you have bipolar. And then he also talked about like the med that most people know, which is lithium, that like a lot of people are on, and some people are like, "Oh, it's such an archaic drug. It was like the first drug ever discovered to treat like bipolar disorder." And but we didn't know why, and like blah blah blah. Oh, you're subscribed to him. Oh, nice. Yeah, but like it was literally so like thorough in its detail that I've been able to bring this conversation to literally every single one of my practitioners and be like like bipolar is degenerative like in your brain, like you literally like lose functionality and Oh, nice. Yeah, I know a lot of people are really interested in that. I just like now I have a fear of like everything because I don't want to fucking like tweak out and lose my shit in a big bad way. Um, because depression sucks, but mania is painful, and you fuck shit. I don't know if you saw it on my Facebook. I posted a video of Jennifer Lewis, who's kind of like famously diagnosed with um, bipolar disorder, and like she just did like a little short interview bit on bipolar and like her experience, and she's like mania, like she's one of the only people I've ever like heard talk about mania in the mainstream who like doesn't make it seem like it's all fun and games. She's like, mania is serious. You will ruin your life. And I was like, oh, you see me. But anyways, but I've been getting a lot of ads for Mind Bloom, which I believe uses those the psychotropic mushrooms, and like either microdosing or how things are dosed. I don't know, but I feel like I can't afford it right now. Like I can't afford it as like a alternative for it. Mania is destructive. Exactly. Like I like I was gonna light a candle and I ended up heating up the lighter and burning it on my skin because I, I, I thought it would be funny to light something on fire, but I knew it would be impractical to light myself on fire, especially because like I have to go outside because I probably wouldn't want to burn out. I like some cognition, but it's real foggy, comes and goes. Um, but yeah. Anyways, but like when I got diagnosed, like no one told me like bipolar is like physically and mentally like destroying your brain, and like the brains of people who have been diagnosed with it a year or two versus the people who have lived with the condition since the onset of the condition for like the first decade or the second decade, which I'm right square in between the middle of those two, is so different. And so like not only do I have the concussion in my history, which my doctor isn't like super on the board on the concussion making my, um, she doesn't really think that that's the reason why it got worse. It just got worse because sometimes shit blows up, but like it's distinctly different from like anything I've experienced before. But anyways, she's like, you have to have pretty dramatic brain injury to have those side effects from your concussion. And but the more research I do, the more I'm like, there is no mild concussion. Dr. Gabor Monte. No, I haven't. I'm gonna like, is 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 that person on YouTube, or what's the best way to find out? Also, I had a therapist who was like, "You should try ayahuasca. Like, go on a ayahuasca retreat." And I was like, "So you're saying I should pay a shaman to take me out into the woods where I have a total mental breakdown, and somehow I'm healed?" I was like, "I'm sure it works for some people, but I see myself trying to swim across the ocean and buying a house with money I don't have." That's what I see. Okay, mental trauma addiction. Okay, Dr. Gabor. Is it? Am I saying it right? I'm sure. I'll see how they say it. don't think I have seen these videos. Is it Wholehearted that he's often on? Either way, I am going to check it out because this looks cool. Thank you for referring. I love watching YouTube videos where I can learn a bit and get, a new perspective on things. You know what? Like, corner crochet is cool, undoubtedly. Like, you can make some beautiful things, you make some beautiful craft gams. I mean, assuming you don't suck like I do. I literally don't know how people do intricate, like, patterns in their C2C, because that sounds like basically a million ends to sew in. I'm about to start, like, literally soon. I bought it a couple weeks ago and I haven't had a chance to, like, pick it up. The one time I had time to pick it up, I uh, couldn't find it. Then I found it when I didn't have time to do it anymore. So I'm like, that's just how life works, I guess. But how did I get back on this? But yeah, I just, like, I can't imagine sewing in all those ends of that. And then I wouldn't want to make like a million invisible knots for that. Also like that. So, but I'm gonna finish this trio of double crochet, and then I am going to log off. Oh, see, still voice cracks, still acne. One day I will be beautiful, but not today. With lace weight yarn, my eyes need a rest. You are a psycho. I can't even imagine that. I can't wait to see it because I know it's gonna be gorgeous. But, like, I don't even touch lace weight yarn. I would never be like, this is this is a project for me. I'm having trouble doing it in a 4-weight yarn and making sure my tension's relatively even. So, anyways, you have a good night. I do hope you get some sleep, anything that relaxes you. And if you can't get some sleep, I hope you read and watch some cool things. So I love you. Talk to you later. Bye. Oh, and message me tomorrow/today. Okay, bye.